We've come together from different places, and we are all at different stages on our journey through life. Our paths are varied, and we look at life in different ways. But there is one thing we all have in common. At one point or another, and to some degree, our lives have touched the life of Nicholas Krazter. We are here this morning in order to pay our last respects and bid a sad but fond farewell to Nicholas Krazter. We are here also so that in our own way, we can celebrate, honor, and pay tribute to his life. And in doing so, we express our sincere love and admiration for him. And so, this morning, we've put aside our usual daily activities for a while and gathered here to give expression to the thoughts and feelings that well up at us in this time of loss. And also because, in one way or another, Nicholas Krazter's death affects us all. Now, the King of England, King Henry VIII, would like to share a few words to express his condolences for Nicholas Krazter.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I am here to express my deep and dear condolences to my dear friend, Nicholas Krazter. Born in Munich in 1487, he was also a friend of Hans Holbein. He was an educated mathematician and astronomer under my services who invented the polyhedral sundial. He arrived in England in 1516 from Cologne to teach mathematics at Corpus Christi College, Oxford. Krazter was about 30 at the time and employed by me as court astronomer in 1520. To make clocks and sundials, I commissioned Nicholas Krazter to help design the clock at my place at Hampton Court, made prior to Copernicus discovering the motion of the Earth and the sun around it. My associates with artists, scientists, and philosophers sought out Krazter to help advance them in the works of astronomy and mathematics. Inevitably, Krazter demonstrated his works and passion and helped put me at the forefront of the English Reformation.
Hello everyone, as you know, I am Hans Holbein the Younger, and I came here today just to present my condolences for my dear friend Nicholas Krazter. Nicholas and I met one another in London, England in the year 1528. I remember it fondly as Sir Thomas More, who I painted a portrait of 1 year prior, introduced me to the mathematical tutor of his children, who just so happened to be a German fellow by the name of Hans Holbein, which at the time I didn't take much notice to it, but speculations floated around that he would become the court astronomer for King Henry VIII's court. To my surprise, when he became part of King Henry VIII's court, I often had a tendency to see him from time to time. It was very occasional though, because even though we were good friends, our work completely contrasted with one another. I would focus on painting portraits and working in other forms of art, whereas Nicholas would focus more towards horological devices and sundials. I remember fondly one day that he ran up into my studio once and just entirely excited and thrilled, which I asked him why he was so worked up. He then told me that King Henry VIII assigned him a project just to design a banquet hall which was used to celebrate the new alliance between England and France. So as a result of that, because of Nicholas's fantastic work as he always did, with his addition of beautiful arches and a grand cosmotopian ceiling, he was kind enough to essentially assign me to paint a portrait of Nicholas to commemorate his work. So Nicholas just took me, my easel, and all my paints down to his workshop, and he just excitedly sat down before me and told me, "All right, come on, Hans, paint me." So I then told him just to relax and calm down and to express a face and a tone of dignified neutrality. This way he wouldn't have that devilish grin as he always did whenever he smiled. So, when he sat down, I wanted to make sure that the world could see him for the excellent man that I and everyone else in King Henry VIII's court saw him as. So I painted him in a very defined manner. I provided great detail with his tools of craftsmanship, and I wanted to show the overall elegance and passion that rested in his eyes wherever he went. as he always had a great passion for mathematics, sciences, and just to really strive to improve the world in a technical aspect. I truly miss my friend Nicholas, and I pray that his soul may rest peacefully Now, to conclude this funeral procession, King Henry VIII will provide his condolences once again to finish this.
Nicholas Krazter had a major impact on his loved ones, associates, and employers. Not only a good man, but a great man. The best at his craft and a leader in passion. We hope to always remember him in an uplifting spirit. Death is a very personal matter for those who know someone close to them, but we are all connected, directly or indirectly, with the death of an individual because we are all members of the human community. The loved ones of Nicholas Krazter are too many to count, some which could not have attended the service today. Before we take our leave, I would like to help us on our way by reading a Chinese proverb. It says, "Life is a walking dream, and death is just going on."